the world reacts. Trump returns to the Oval Office, January 20th, 2025. The day that many had anticipated and others had dreaded finally arrived. The date marked a seismic shift in global politics. Conversations buzzed in capitals around the world as leaders and analysts tried to predict what this meant for the future. Donald J. Trump once again took the oath of office. His hand on the Bible, he swore to lead the nation, just as he had done 4 years prior. The ceremony was a spectacle. Thousands gathered, some in support, others in protest, but all eyes were on the Capitol. It was a return to the center stage for a man who thrives on attention. His speech was filled with promises of change and a better future. The world watched, holding its breath. News channels across the globe broadcasted the event live, analyzing every word and gesture. Reactions were mixed, as they always are with Trump. Supporters cheered, believing in his vision, while detractors feared the return of divisive politics. Allies like Israel and Saudi Arabia expressed cautious optimism. They hoped for strengthened ties and renewed partnerships. European leaders, still scarred from the trade wars, remained wary. Memories of past conflicts and economic tensions lingered. China, locked in a battle for global dominance, saw this as a challenge. The rivalry between the two superpowers was set to intensify. The world held its breath, waiting to see what a second Trump term would bring. Would it be a time of renewed American strength or further global division? The years since Trump's departure had been a roller coaster. The world had faced unprecedented challenges and changes. The pandemic, the economic downturn, the rise of new global powers. The world had changed. Nations had to adapt to new realities. And yet, in many ways, it remained the same. The core issues and conflicts persisted, waiting for new leadership to address them. The old alliances, the old rivalries, the old problems, they were all still there. The international stage was set for another round of diplomatic maneuvering. Trump, never one to shy away from a fight, seemed eager to jump back into the fray. His presence was as commanding as ever. The question on everyone's mind was simple but profound. Would this time be different? Could Trump bring about the change he promised? Would Trump, older and perhaps wiser, govern with a steadier hand? His experience could be a guiding force. Or would the world witness a repeat performance filled with chaos and unpredictability? Only time would tell. The stage was set, and the world was watching. America first, again early moves on the world stage. Trump wasted no time in making his priorities clear. From the very beginning, he set a tone of urgency and determination. His inauguration speech echoed the themes of his first campaign, America First. He spoke with conviction, promising to restore American greatness. He promised to bring back jobs, stand up to China, and put an end to illegal immigration. These were not just campaign promises, they were the pillars of his administration. His words were met with cheers from his supporters, who saw him as a man of action. They believed in his vision and were ready to follow his lead. On the economic front, Trump moved swiftly. He aimed to reshape the American economy to benefit the working class. He imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, renegotiated trade deals, and slashed regulations. These moves were designed to protect American industries and workers. He promised to bring back manufacturing jobs to the American heartland. This was a key promise that resonated with many voters. He aimed to revitalize the economy, much as he had done before the pandemic. His focus was on growth and prosperity for all Americans. Immigration, a cornerstone of his previous campaign, was once again at the forefront. He was determined to secure the borders. He promised to build the wall, increase border security, and crack down on sanctuary cities. These measures were aimed at protecting American sovereignty. His stance on immigration remained as polarizing as ever. It sparked intense debates and divided opinions across the nation. It ignited fierce debates about national security, humanitarianism, and the very soul of America. The country was deeply divided on this issue. In terms of foreign policy, Trump adopted a more isolationist approach. He believed in focusing on America's needs first. He withdrew from international agreements, reduced foreign aid, and questioned the value of long-standing alliances. This was a significant shift in U.S. foreign policy. He believed in putting America's interests first, even if it meant alienating traditional allies. This approach was both praised and criticized, reflecting the complexity of his presidency. Cheers and jeers. The divided states of America. The nation stands at a crossroads, with emotions running high on both sides. Trump's return to power deepened the existing political divisions within America, creating a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. His supporters, energized by his victory, saw him as a savior, a beacon of hope in a turbulent political landscape. They cheered his every move, praising his decisiveness and his willingness to challenge the status quo, believing he was the change America needed. His critics, on the other hand, were horrified, viewing his actions as reckless and dangerous. They saw him as a threat to democracy, a demagogue who stoked fear and division, undermining the very principles the country was founded on. They organized protests, filed lawsuits, and vowed to resist his agenda at every turn, determined to protect their vision of America. The media, as always, played a key role in shaping public opinion, amplifying the voices of both supporters and detractors. Conservative outlets lauded Trump's accomplishments, while liberal ones denounced his actions, each reinforcing their audience's beliefs. Social media became a battleground for competing narratives, further fueling the polarization, with misinformation spreading like wildfire. The political climate was toxic, with both sides retreating further into their respective echo chambers. Civil discourse seemed impossible, and compromise a distant dream. The very fabric of American society felt strained, stretched thin by the weight of its divisions, leaving many to wonder if unity could ever be restored.